All right, guys, we're bidding and estimating today, but we're not just doing any bids and estimates. We're looking at some pretty massive projects. One of them is right here. Another one is out on another site. Even a step further, on this particular project, we get to actually see what my 5 competitors put their numbers in at. We get to analyze what happened on this project and try to determine where we want to be on the next job site. This is raw education. This is real world. This is a job we just got done bidding. The next job you look at, we're in the process of bidding as well. So let's see how today goes. Because get ready, guys. We're gonna have some fun, but we're gonna learn a ton. All right, guys, we're gonna be looking at a job that I bid. This is a government job. So this project, we actually get the opportunity to look at other, well, let's see, so this job, we actually get the opportunity to look at other people's bids. I'm gonna show you my numbers. I'm gonna show you the numbers of the 4 other people that we were competing against, but we are going to then look at how our numbers fell, good, bad, and in between, so we can get a better feel. So the next time we go out to a project like this, we know where we need. Check this out. So this, guys, is a concrete swimming pool. So everything that you see within this fence line is gone. Now that concrete swimming pool is built like a bomb structure. When I say that, I mean that thing is fortified with rebar. It is probably one of the toughest structures to remove. It's much tougher than a building. So that building right there is way easier to take down than a swimming pool, by far. That building will come down in the afternoon. This swimming pool, not a chance. So as part of this demolition project, we're also going to be taking out this building right here, and this shed all comes out over here. All right, so guys, here's the specs on this job site. 1,800 cubic yards of granular fill, select granular fill, meaning that this is a government job, so you're gonna have an inspector breathing over your shoulder, making sure that the fill that you bring in meets their very specific specifications. Plus, on top of that, you've got 200 cubic yards of topsoil that has to come in over the top of this job site. Now, you guys, knowing that you got a concrete swimming pool that has to come out, 1,800 yards of select granular fill, an inspector that's going to be watching everything you're doing, plus 200 cubic yards of topsoil coming in, plus 2 buildings that come out, an entire fence, what would you bid it at? Take your guess in the comments down below. Give me some numbers. But remember, guys, I'm going to show you the numbers of everybody else that bid this as well. This is an opportunity. Even though we didn't get this job, in full disclosure, we didn't get this job, this is still probably one of the best educational opportunities that you can have. Anytime you guys have a chance to go out and bid on a project, even if you don't want the job, because then you can ink your numbers up where if you do get the job, you win. And if you don't get the job and you didn't want the job, and you get to see everybody else's numbers, you win. I like winning. So everything you see here is coming out. And that pool is 15 feet deep. Reinforced with rebar. Everything comes out. Hey Tim, would you say that the guy that got this job, at the price he got the job, is sweating bullets right now?
I don't know. Maybe his costs of operating are different than other people's, I guess.
You know that the guy that got this job at 50G is sweating bullets. He has to realize he absolutely missed something in his bid. He's got to be able to look at everybody else's numbers and go, oh crap. That's exactly what we'd be doing. If you got this job and the next bundle of guys that came in were in the 90s, would you be worried?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd want to renegotiate maybe.
It's too late though. So a few years back, I made a video on how to make money on a landscaping job gone wrong. Now in that video, my guys kind of screwed up and we literally had to start everything all over again. But we still made a lot of money on that job. And one of the comments that came through over and over and over again was, oh, contractors were saying, oh, I could have done that job for $400. Now, I did the job for $2,000. But I would have guys say, oh, I could do that job for $400. So in this example, what struck me as odd is how these contractors are willing to drop and negotiate their price right down to where they are literally making next to nothing. And then they wonder why they don't have any money left over at the end of the year. Now in my mind, if I told them in that video that I was doing the job for $2,000, they shouldn't say, oh, I could do that job for $400. They should say, oh, I could do that job for $1,990. That's what allows a contractor to do extra quality and to make their customers happy. When they undercut themselves, they find that they've got to sacrifice quality on the job to complete it. When they raise the price up, they don't have that problem and they can deliver the extra quality to their customer, which makes them happier. Just out to our site and see how things are going over there. The guy that got this job, I feel sorry for him. I really do. He's got to realize that he missed quite a few somethings. So let's take a look at these numbers and what do they mean. We've got two low bids that are both in their 50s, but you've got to look at the companies that bid those jobs. Are they companies that are well established in the area? And then we look at the next bundle of people, and there's Veit and Bolander. Now when we actually look at the names of the people, we know that Veit and Bolander are two of the most established companies, at least in Minnesota, for demolition. Anytime that we're bidding, if we can fall somewhere around where Veit and Bolander are, we know our numbers are right where they've got to be. In this case, guys, it's not just a matter of where did our numbers fall, but who did our numbers fall by? Now we got to remember, when we're looking and analyzing numbers, we're not racing for the bottom, so we don't necessarily care about who the low bidder is. We want to know who the qualified bidders are. Who are the guys that actually know what's going on in the industry and where are their numbers lying? Because if we're getting in the ballpark with those guys, we know on future projects, we can trust our numbers. We don't have to second guess ourselves. So when we're looking at that feedback, are we right, wrong, in between? We look at where we want to be at in relation to our competitors, but not just the competitors, because you got to realize any Tom, Dick, and Harry that has a pen can put a bid in on a job. It doesn't mean they know what they're doing. It doesn't mean they got the right numbers. But when we have the Tom, Dick, or Harry that's done job after job after job, and they're falling in line with the other guys that know what they're doing, it tells us, well, we're pretty darn close. We're right about where we want to be.
They've just...
So you were saying, Tim, company that got this job is right in this area, right?
I think so, yeah.
And you were saying, go ahead, what were you saying about that cost of operating and the stockpile of fill?
Well, who knows what they've got? If they got a big giant stockpile of fill, or they got soil ready to go that they need to get rid of, or they got an angle on it, well then now they're not buying it like everybody else. So their cost of operating's gonna be a lot cheaper than ours is, because we'd have to buy all the soil. So I guess you never know what people, that's why prices vary so much. Everybody's got a different situation they're in.
Okay. But that's why they also have specs on a job that require everybody to conform to the same standard. So maybe they have this giant stockpile of fill ready to go, but if it's not a select granular that meets their specification, they can't use it. That's the problem on a government project. Now, if this was a private project, I could understand where their numbers are coming from, absolutely, but this is not a private project. You have an inspector going to be breathing over your shoulder. They've got to put their initial numbers in as if the fill soil they have does not pass that specification unless they've already had it inspected and they know that it passes.
Right.
You're right,
it's just hypothetical, man. So I'm just saying that it can change.